she says, "It turns out that yours is one of our bigger files." Should I feel proud? I am terrified and eager to plunge into a growing mountain of manila files that clerks in white coats are wheeling in on shopping carts and unloading. Dr. Katorz does not smile, but the fact that she calls me Katika, the Hungarian diminutive of my name, only increases my agitation. All my life, my parents' defiance of the communists, their stubborn courage as the last independent journalists behind the Iron Curtain until their arrest, trial, and conviction as CIA spies, has been at the core of our family identity. On February 25, 1955, at 2 a.m, following a game of bridge at the home of the United States military attaché, my father was abducted by 6 agents of the secret police. His arrest was front-page news in the New York Times. 4 months later, they came for my mother. The following January, almost a year later, the New York Times, in another front-page story, reported that Kati Marton, a correspondent for the Associated Press in communist-ruled Hungary, has been sentenced to 6 years in prison on a charge of espionage. His wife, Ilona, who works for United Press, was sentenced to 3 years. The Martins have 2 young daughters, Kati and Julie. Accompanying the article was a photograph of a handsome, elegant couple and their smiling little girls, a happy family, self-contained and seemingly indestructible, on our last Christmas together in Hungary, before everything changed. Thus did I make my debut in the press, although I did not see the story until decades later. My parents were forward-looking people. They looked back only selectively. When toward the end of his life my father was given Hungary's highest civilian award from the foreign minister of a free and democratic Hungary, he did not come to New York to receive it in person, leaving it to me to accept for him. That evening the foreign minister surprised me with a large manila envelope containing AVO material on Papa. My father never opened that file. He was done with all that. To him, history, at least his history, was a burden. For me, it was the beginning of my search. It has been said that childhood is a foreign land. This is especially so if the child is uprooted early from that small universe where all is familiar and transplanted to a country where no one knows how to pronounce her name. After my parents both died, my mother in 2004 and my father the following year, I became obsessed with learning everything I could about what precisely had happened to them and to my sister and me in the land where everything began. No subsequent chapter in my life had matched those Budapest years for intensity and the power of family love. My parents and sister and I formed a tight-knit unit partly because the world outside was hostile. Once safe in America, each of us would pursue our own lives, and our family ties inevitably loosened. We had successfully made the crossing. Strangely, I still longed for a time that had been dangerous and painful for all of us, yet had bound us together. I missed the closeness of our lives in Budapest. A child growing up in a state built on terror learns early that she, and even her parents, is nothing compared to the power of that state. However accomplished or witty or glamorous the parents, and mine were all of those things, they were playthings in the hands of the state. In such a place a child has no rights, not even the right to her parents. So when they were taken from me, and this is how it seemed to a child, they were taken from me, a separation marked me, not just them, and forever. I wanted to open the files in order to put that trauma to rest. There was something else that puzzled me as the files disgorged secrets. Why did my parents take such risks? During the Cold War, most Hungarians would cross a street rather than risk being seen greeting an American. But my parents' best friends were American diplomats and journalists. What every grown-up I knew whispered, my parents spoke out loud. At a time when there were roughly 2,000 private cars in all of Hungary, our family